Am I? All right, guys. So we're gonna do a little drum roll in between each announcement. I want you guys like to drum up some excitement. And by the way, this is in no particular order, but this is the order that you will present in. So the way this will work is as soon as I call team number one, please get ready to come on stage. And then the following teams, like let's just like fill this area as like the standby area, so you can come and plug in with your laptop. Feel free to like step outside and rehearse really quickly if you need to. But yeah, let's go ahead and announce the top 5 teams of 20. So drum roll, please. Team Fish. Yeah, round of applause. Team Jam. Not binary, bro. Westlake CS. And the Jabs. The Jabs and Jab, 2 different teams, just FYI. So that's gonna be our top 5 teams. So all our finalists, please get ready to do presentations. Can I invite our finalist judges on stage to join me real quickly? before we do that. All right, we're just waiting for one of our judges to join us, and then we will get this show on the road. Do you mind being timekeeper? You guys will have 10 minutes, 5 minutes for your pitch, 5 minutes for the judges to ask questions. We will be pretty strict on timing. Yeah. Well, wait, maybe I can just do the introductions. All right, sweet. All right, so before we get into it, I always like to remind people, I know you guys, some of you may be disappointed you didn't make it to the top 5. It is already an accomplishment that you were able to build something in 24 hours. I don't know how anybody will take me seriously with this music. Thank you, guys. But yeah, like it is very meaningful that you guys are able to build something in 24 hours. The judges were really, like, the consistent feedback we hear was how impressive all the projects were. And the reason the deliberation took so long is because it did take us a while to kind of hammer out who deserved to be in the top 5. So this is not just us being like, you know what, all the projects suck. No, it was hard for us. And I do want you guys to give yourself a round of applause again before we get into the top 5 presentations. And also, I've been to a lot of hackathons, and generally like 20% of the people quit after going through the stress of just like building stuff and having stuff break. So the fact that you guys are still here is to be celebrated. Now, before we jump into this, I do want to give our judges an opportunity to reintroduce themselves to you guys and kind of like highlight their areas of expertise. And then as soon as the judges are finished, we'll hand over to these guys to start with the presentations. Can the next team please be on standby so that we can transition seamlessly? All right, judges. There's a mic right here. Maybe we start on the right, make our way to the left.
Dana Thompson, I am the Director of Education Technology and Information Systems at Oak Park Unified School District. I've been there about 4 months. Previously, I was here as the Director of Education Technology. That kind of describes my expertise, but also AI and education. And you all did amazing. And I'm not going to cry this time.
Hi, everybody. My name is Gemma Bassoni. I am the program manager at LeanGap. We are a top entrepreneurship program for high school students. We are a high school accelerator program. If you guys are interested, I would look it up. We have some pretty incredible students that come out of it. But I am also a board member at Forbes. I manage the Forbes Under 30 program. Love hackathons, so very excited to be here today.
My name is Brandon Barney. I'm the co-founder of Primary Ocean. We're an offshore seaweed farming company. We have a project 2,000 acres off the port of Ventura. You guys should all join us.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Dr. Jason Miller. I'm a professor of mathematics and data science at Cal State Channel Islands. I'm the director of the new Innovation Bridge Institute there as well. And I'm hanging out with people at FathomWorks this year while I'm on sabbatical. I'm just so impressed with everything I saw today. You guys, give yourselves another round of applause. This is awesome.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Dr. Ramon Flores. I'm the former head of IT for the Center for Seabees and Facilities Engineering. I am currently the STEM coordinator for the United States Navy. One of the things we do is we hire high school students as interns. 2 of my interns are right over here in the back. Please give a big hand for Mr. Ricardo Angel, Ms. Danica Gray. They will be interning with me next coming summer. Students, we are hiring. And my night job, I am the president of the Ventura County Board of Education. Welcome to our facility.
My name is Luke. I go to TO, Thousand Oaks High School, and I was the level designer for
I also go to TO. My name is Thomas. I was the main programmer for the game.
Hello, my name is Joseph. I go to Oak Park High School. I did some sprite work and organized the music.
My name is Michael, and I was the graphic designer and sprite maker for this game.
All right, so the main problem that we faced while developing this game, we wanted to combat the fact that in the platformer genre of gaming, we see a lot of stagnation. Right now, all we have is up, down, left, right, A to jump. Obviously, there are other unique games out there, but the vast majority are decently stale, and people are growing bored of them. So we have decided to develop a game that focuses primarily on rotation rather than the traditional forms of movement.
And we'll do a little play test now. Let's hope this works. Okay. And is it? Oh yeah, right. Of course, the amazing music composed by Australia. Yes.
Yes, I wanted to embrace the silly, and I can tell it works because Mr. Serious did not like it.
Okay. We can enter level 1. We using just A and D to rotate. Those are the only controls that you have. The springs can launch you forward, and you have to barrel your way through the various trenches and not die, but I'm good at this game. That probably helps that I made it.
The main thing that we wanted to do with this game is, the main thing that we wanted to do with this game is make you feel more like a fish out of water than anything else. Since this is an entirely new thing that we've done with the movement, it really makes people who've played games for years feel like a complete beginner again. And that's the feeling that we were trying to aim for.
Coming up is our, oh yeah, if you couldn't tell, the ending of the levels are the fish going into a frying pan, making a delicious meal. So if you'll notice now, the fish food has made the fish a little fast, and that definitely contributes to you not being able to control it almost at all.
Oh, wait, you've done it.
And I'm gone, and I'm going, and there we go.
That's all we got for the demo of. We do plan to make this a mobile game at some point if we continue developing on it. It can definitely work if you were to, I don't know, hold right to rotate right, hold left to rotate left, and implement ads in between levels for monetization.
I hope you all enjoyed Fish, and I hope you have a great rest of your days.
Oh wait, no, we gotta do Q&A now.
Oh shoot! Well, questions?
How did you come up with this idea?
This was you. What? What do you mean? Oh, shoot, you're so right. So I mentioned fish for some reason. I was actually trying to figure out why we made the fish game in the first place. It was mostly, we were just looking at possible games to play, because Thomas and I are in an advanced video game design class right now. So pretty much the only thing we know how to do is to make games. So we looked for anything possible and decided on fish.
No, we didn't look for anything possible. He just wrote fish in a notebook about 50 times, and then we were forced to take it.
Any more?
Can you tell us a little bit about what was unique about the game? I think I may have come by, but I think you told us there was like emotion or something. You wanted to change 2D platformers up a little bit.
Just mostly what I said in the beginning. I just feel like they've gotten a little stale in some ways, where it's just usually WAS and D, D to go right, space to jump, and all that. but we wanted to make something maybe a little harder, maybe something to really challenge someone who's even played games for a long time.
All right, I think everybody thinks this is awesome. Probably think it's perfect. But what would you either do differently, or how would you approve this at the next step if you had more time?
Oh, here, okay.
Cool. Well, there were certain things that we couldn't fit within the time frame, one of which we wanted to add a statement about trash pollution. If you touch the trash, things get difficult. I will not elaborate. That's coming in the sequel.
Okay. Well, I will elaborate. So our original idea was to have different like little trash things just littered around in later levels, and basically if you touched any of the trash, it would get stuck to you. And at the end, when you cooked yourself, I guess, if you cook a fish and there's some trash stuck to it, it's not going to taste that great. So it would lower your score. And eventually you get to the point where it's just inedible and you'd lose. So.
Something that I would have wanted to add would definitely be more obstacles while looking back at it, because right now the gameplay mostly just consists of getting over gaps, but there is definitely more complex possibilities for this game that we could implement in the future, or stuff that we just missed being able to implement now.
So I want to make sure I heard this right. In the beginning, you mentioned that one of you composed the music. So can you talk about the complexities of one composing a unique piece under this time constraint and then integrating that music into the code?
Oh boy, let me tell you. So the first thing you need to know about music is like the audience, not just the people, but where they're sitting. Rule number 1. Don't rely too much on building harmonics with lower register instruments, because they will get drowned out, because that's just generally where the human voice is at. So if you're in a crowded room like this, and there are people talking, and you're relying a lot on middle range instruments, it's not going to come out sounding very good. Second thing, I'd say sometimes less is more. A lot of composers, what they like to do is use every instrument simultaneously, and a lot of the time that actually ends up sounding pretty good. Sometimes it doesn't, though, because if you have a piece that needs to last for a whole 3 levels, well, if you always use just all instruments, what happens is all instruments produces sort of a similar sound. You hear it over and over again, it gets sick. You get sick of it. I don't want people to get sick of the music. I want people to get sick of the idea of the music.
What does that mean?
Well, you say you saw how Mr. Serious repulsed, right? That's what I want.
So I'm guessing you just need to know music in order to make music. Any more questions?
Maybe could you tell us about the technology? Like, how did you build it? What did you build it in, et cetera?
Let me pull it up on here. Oh, give me it. So we used Unity to make this game, mostly because in our time frame, it didn't really make sense to use Unreal, as 3D games just take more time. Unity has a great physics engine for 2D, and it just worked for our project the most. We used tile sets in this game to quickly draw the levels out. For example, if I were to select the tile map, if I can just draw the level out like this. For the fish, let me pull up the fish controller. We used, basically you get horizontal input. That could be A and D or the arrow keys. Rotation amount equals horizontal input times rotation speed, which is a parameter that we set up here. And then time. And then we subtracted rotation from rotation amount in order to get the fish rotation. Any other questions?
Nope. Well, that's all we have for time. Thank you so much. Let's give them a round of applause, everyone. All right, Jab, you're up next. Not to be confused with the Jabs. There we go.
Oh, thank you for having us, by the way.
Of course, yeah. Jab, yeah. And then can Team Binary Bro be on standby, please? If you could just like move closer, have your laptop and stuff ready.
Hello, everyone. My name is Jaden, and I'm a senior.
My name is Angie, and I'm a senior.
My name is Brandon, and I'm a senior.
And we are Jab. We're from Pacifica High School in Oxnard, and this is the ultimate cookbook.
Oh. Okay. So the Ultimate Cookbook, what our vision was for this was a interactive website where you input ingredients or the keywords into our website, and it will output different recipes that are online based on whatever ingredients you put in the search. You want to test it out?
Yes. Okay, we will show the demo. This is the start page for our website. You press start searching, and you can put in one or however many ingredients you want. We'll put, let's see, we'll do, give me some ingredients, cheese.
Tomato.
Okay, yeah, we'll do those two, yeah? And then you'll search, and then the recipes from a bunch of different websites will come up. So what we wanted to do with this is that usually when you are working with recipes, you're catering towards the recipes. You're going out of your way to buy ingredients to match a certain thing. But with this, you would use the ingredients that you already have in your kitchen or things that are easily accessible to you instead of having to go out of your way to get something you don't have. And the reason that we did this, we'll bring it back, is because we wanted to target it towards teens and young adults because we feel that a lot of people our age lack basic life skills such as cooking. This, the Ultimate Cookbook, was to make it easier for people our age to begin to learn how to cook and make it less intimidating. So they would know where to start. They would go with things that they already had, things that they didn't have to purchase. Because obviously if you're our age, a lot of the time you might not have money, you might not have time to go to a store. So it's just a way to provide essential life skills in an easier, less intimidating way for beginners.
Adding on to that, so we wanted to make it all accessible to everyone as we're teenagers, we're always on our phones, the distraction. So we made it accessible on Windows devices and phone. It's nice and nicely organized, appears great on both. So it appeals to young people, and we also, what's it called? So in order to do this, we used APIs to grab the recipes from other sources. Go to this site. So in our case, we used Edamame as our API. This was our main source of recipes. I planned on using 2 to 5 other APIs to pull in more recipes to have a longer list so you have more options so you don't feel so limited like you do with a normal cookbook. But I struggled with the JavaScript in order to accomplish that. But I will work on that in the future as I choose to pursue this. And some other difficulties I had coding this Ultimate Cookbook was the loading more options. So at the At the bottom, there's a load more button. It doesn't really work. It just reloads the screen. But if we had more APIs, more recipes, we would load more, have more pages, just make it more accessible to everyone, appeal to people like me who's a student athlete, doesn't have the time or energy to learn how to cook. So looking in the pantry, having rice, looking in the fridge, having tomatoes, maybe I can make some fried rice or something of the sort. And yeah, anything else?
Well, the reason he's been talking about I a lot for the website is because initially our plan for this cookbook was a game, a cooking game, where you'd pick a recipe, just like on the screen right there. Then you'd be taken to like a generic supermarket where you'd have to find ingredients for your recipe. And you know, this is kind of what we have right here. Little dinky supermarket. And the only playable features for this is we can interact with the objects. Wanna go more on that?
Yeah, so basically, I'm sure anybody who's played video games knows E to interact. It's basically in every single video game. If you want to, you know, check something off of a list or, you know, add something into your inventory, you have to interact with it. So that is the part that we had such an issue with for hours. So that is ultimately one of the main reasons that we gave up on finishing the Unity game, because we're like, there's not enough time, it's not worth it, so let's do something that we still feel will help people, but will be easier given the time constraint. So yeah.
The website inspired by this game was based on the concept of the first, I guess, menu of our game, which was going to be a menu of all different types of food, Chinese, Italian, ranked with difficulties on how to cook. And then off of that, you choose a recipe. You would go to the superstore, shop for it, bring it back to your kitchen, learn how to cook it through a simulator, and then learn hopefully something to do in real life. But unable to do that through the 3D Unity, we chose to hopefully help people through a online menu maker with recipes with ingredients you have at home.
So that is our our presentation. Is there any questions?
Thank you. You mentioned Pacifica High School? Yes, my two sons went to Pacifica. Go Tritons. Go Tritons. How much of the Unity platform did you were you familiar with, either through Mr. Sierra's class in the Coding Academy, and how much of that did you learn while you were here?
So initially, we had little to no Unity experience. We touched a little bit on 2D platformers with Unity, but other than that, most of this was within our time limit. We learned all of it through the videos, the Unity help, the YouTube, all that. But majority of the time for the Unity, I'd say, was the scripts. The scripts were the hardest thing to learn. The C#, everything was just really complicated. Having to organize objects, it was just really time consuming. So we wanted a backup plan. So Brandon over here, he made the website, and I think that one turned out really, really good. Anything else?
Any other questions?
So moving forward, what would be your vision, whether it's, let's start with the website. How could you integrate more of the up and coming technology that's coming out rather than just using APIs? What is your vision for that?
So my initial idea for our website was, of course, going to use AI, but with this being my first time building a website using HTML and all that, didn't know how to implement it, so I had to turn to APIs. But I would like to learn how to incorporate AIs to search the web for the specific ingredient you're looking for and bring that recipe to you without having to search the web for it, scrolling through multiple pages of Google. And that was my initial thing I worked on for like 2 hours trying to learn AI. Didn't go so well. So I turned to APIs, and then I struggled with APIs for another couple of hours trying to access multiple of them. So I just used edamame and tried to get the gist of it to you guys. And I forgot his name. Oh yeah, I forgot. One of the judges gave an amazing idea of scanning a receipt, and I thought that's amazing. Like photo math, as every student knows, you can scan a paper, get an answer. So if we were able to scan a receipt with groceries on it, the person would be able to get the recipes as soon as they get home off of their shopping spree. That was like 2 hours ago. So.
Yes. I would say in the future to make this more accessible, that we actually got as a suggestion to make it not just a regular website, but to make it like a website that you require an account for, so that you can have like the save button to be able to favorite certain recipes. I feel like that would make it a lot more personal for every single user's experience. Any other questions?
I love the concept of like VR life skills for high school students. So I was wondering if you could sell that to your teachers so that you all might be able to really benefit from that modality.
Actually, yes, we so could. Pacifica High School has a code academy and a robotics club, so we actually could. We're very involved in that and have positions of power. So thank you. Yeah, personal projects too. So I think actually we will when we get home.
Sweet. All right, thank you guys. That's all we have for time.
Thank you for your time.
Appreciate
Thank you.
Can Team Binary Bros head up stage next? The timer starts once you start speaking. Should be green.
Hello? Okay, there we go.
You can take it up the split up.
All right. Hello, everybody. Today we're going to be introducing our app called FireSafe, which will be the fire prediction and prevention app of the future. First, let's start off with some brief introductions. My name is Diljot Sidhu, and basically what I did was I implemented the API keys into our app.
My name is Pana Bijith, and I implemented the AI algorithm to detect wildfires into the app.
My name is Siddharth Arun, and I work with UX design and the prompt engineering of the app.
And my name is Samai Kala. I helped with the UX design too, and mostly the front end.
Now let's talk about the issue at hand. As most of you, if not all of you, are probably aware, recently there have been raging fires in California that have burned up to over 25,000 acres of land and has even led to some casualties. And now we all live in the same town where the fires affected us through major power outages, and it's also caused the fear of evacuation, of just having to leave our town. This was what mainly inspired us to create FireSafe, to bring a new and unique way in order to fight fires for everybody around the world.
Okay. So the way we actually detected fires was through a CNN, a convolutional neural network. Basically, we got satellite images of places that were likely to catch likely to have a wildfire, or were more susceptible to fires, and places that were typically not. And then we fed it through this 7-layer CNN, which allowed us to create a classification model. So the data set we actually used was a wildfire prediction data set, which was found on Kaggle. It basically gives around 50,000 or so satellite images of terrain that didn't catch on fire and caught on fire. So as you can see in the wildfire terrain, it is definitely much more different than the non-wildfire. It is more lush, more dry, and you can tell it's enough of an information for CNN to classify wildfire and non-wildfire. So we actually did the CNN, and we got a 95% accuracy on the data set, but we wanted to see how that would implement and transfer over to the real-world situation. So we took an image of LA a year ago, and then we ran this model on fire. And what we found interesting was that 1 year ago, it predicted that the Eaton fire and the Palisades fire would actually take place, which happens now. So near Pasadena, you can see the amount of red squares correspond to the Eaton fire, and a little over Santa Monica, you can see the Palisades fire. Similarly, I tested this out on my hometown, Simi Valley, and I realized that I also detected a fire that was recent, which was a Kenneth fire as well. And I'm actually going to show you how we did this. Oh, wait. So, like, you can get a satellite image. I'm just going to use Camarillo for now. We download it. And then we just input it into our collab, or this is the environment in which machine learning and most research developments actually occur in. So while we're waiting that for work, the model used a bunch of pre-processing as well.
So right now he's putting the picture into the algorithm, and soon what it's going to do, it's going to process the image, and it's going to highlight certain areas where a fire is most likely to occur.
Yeah, so all those 1 out of 1s, that indicates each square that is being processed right now. So it usually takes around 30 seconds or so, but it's interesting that this is scalable. So if you have a much bigger image, you can run it through the exact same model, and it will take longer, but it will also produce the same result. So while we're waiting for this to work, yeah. So here you can see that the mountains in Camarillo have caught on fire before. And this is a known fact. And then it predicts that these places will also catch on fire. Yeah. Now we'll be doing a UX demo, and I'm just going to be switching out to HDMI cord.
Okay, so for our actual UX app designed to help people, we created FireSafe. So the first part of our app would be to create an account. So we created a simple login system. So let's just log in and see. So now after we log in, this is our main homepage. So the first part of our app is the safe houses option. So during fires, many people get dislocated, and many people have to move different places, or they lose amenities and resources that they need to live a sustainable and a good life. So then we created this using Google APIs, so people can look and find other people that are willing to share their resources and are willing to provide people with information and residents in these times that they need. Additionally, we created a connect option where for people who are near you and people who are giving resources that you need, you can directly communicate with them and directly ask them for their aid.
Now, let's say you actually have the resource and you want to lend it to other people. Now, this is what the neighborly resources do. So here you can show the resource that you can provide, whether that's water, shelter, power, and then provide information about your address. This will be shared into a database, and then nearby people will be notified, and they can message you within the app. And you can, of course, expand and meet each other through communication.
So again, as I mentioned, the fire app safety. So right now we have a map of Los Angeles, and let's say you found an area that you're passionate about, and you want to maybe make it more fireproof by getting rid of brush, excess vegetation, etc. What you can do is you can click community fire outreach, and you can schedule a time. Let's just say 7:30, and then a date. You can just say today. And then you can say amount of people, and then you can actually have a collaborative effort to help remove these fires so we can actually prevent these natural disasters from happening.
And finally, we have the additional information, a part of FireSafe. Basically, what this does is to try to make people more knowledgeable about the effects and the causes of what fires can do. First, we have insurance claims. It leads a user to insurance organizations that help users who've had their houses burned down by fires be able to file a claim in order to gain some compensation. We have multiple videos that lead to multiple external URLs that teach people how to protect themselves and their homes from other fires. And most importantly, we have fire protection, which tells people's tips on how they can protect themselves from fires in the moment when they don't have much time to think. And that is FireSafe, a unique and great way in order to fight fires and prevent today's tragedies and make those things of the past. We are the Binary Brothers. Thank you for listening.
Judges, we have 3 minutes for questions.
Will you contact the Ventura Fire Department and partner with them? And can we all get a percentage of the action?
I mean, sure, yeah. We will contact them if we, yeah. Okay. Oh. Well, that's perfect timing. Any more questions?
Yeah, so we all know that weather plays a role. So you just have geography right now of a satellite image taken in some point of time. Speculate on how you might bring in weather and have that inform your neural network or whatever predictive modeling you do.
So we were actually originally looking into taking wind data from NASA's ecostress systems and other NASA data sets to implement into our CNN to more accurately predict the fire data. However, we weren't able to properly grab the CSV data files from the data set. So through more analysis and finding different sources, maybe from NASA and other places, we're looking to find more wind data and other variables that can be used to truly find the most accurate sense of fire sparks and fire generation.
So working for the Navy, one of the things we do, because we can't be all over the world with all the emergencies, is we try to pre-position our assets as where we can predict, the bad guys are going to do bad things. So what I really appreciate about this model is, besides working with the fire department, is you can work with the public works stations of various cities to say, we think the fire is going to be here. You might want to start pre-positioning tanks of water, or make sure your fire hydrants are up and running, make sure your reservoirs are up and running. So the utility of this thing is tremendous. So again, the challenge would be, how would you be able to implement these other assets, these other entities, so that you can look at brush, weather, but then also what firefighting assets you have available to you, so you can pre-position them or to make sure that those are up and running.
Yeah, so if we have access to all the data, like where water reservoirs are and all of that, we can definitely direct some sort of AI, maybe an LLM, which can maybe fine-tune it and tell it exact positions and maybe coordinates of where you should actually keep your water reservoirs and keep everything in respect to our map.
Thank you.
Perfect. Next up on our lineup, we have Westlake CS. Thomas Blaine dongle. Oh, there's one right here.
What is this, a Mac? Yeah, it might be. Yeah, our system's not great with Macs. I could give you guys a different dongle. That might help.
I'm gonna take the mic off. Okay, hello. We are Westlake CS, and this is our company, Rootify. My name is Dylan Mystery, and I was the main machine learning developer.
My name is Benjamin Shia, and I was the main UI/UX developer.
My name is Kevin Fay. I was the main backend developer.
If I could describe Rootify in one word, in one sentence, it would be transforming farmland into 3D AI-driven intelligence.
But why, Dylan? Why do you want to make this?
There are two reasons why we made this. First off, as we all are living in California, we are very well aware of the drought that has been affecting us for the last 100 years. With transforming farm, with our technology, we will decrease water usage and help alleviate this problem. The second reason was I proposed this idea after taking a mission to Nepal and seeing that a lot of families there, most of the families there, relied on farming as their way of sustenance. If they couldn't make their harvest, they couldn't put food on the table. And I felt that making this software could help these families live their livelihood, help them survive.
So thank you, Dylan, for that. And the reason, what we like to call Rootify is revolutionary agricultural intelligence. Rootify has over 94% accuracy with AI models that can predict the health of your crops with remarkable accuracy. So Rootify has three main features. The first one is that it converts satellite imagery of farms to 3D model AI. Next, it uses computer vision to provide crop insights provides crop insights to inform farmers of insights they can use to improve their crop yield and optimize their water usage. Finally, it provides a digital twin of your farm, which Dylan will expand on the importance of later. If you're curious about how we got the website to appear so modern, we used a combination of React.js, 3.js, Tailwind CSS, and Vite. So now I'd like to showcase the demo. So it's given an area to scan, and we're just going to find a farm. So a green patch of land around here, just over here. And if we scan that area and select the crop type, then we can get a 3D model that Dylan has made a machine learning model for.
Okay, so first I'm going to tell how we framework this model. So we got our data from the AHN database of Netherlands and used Google Earth Engine to produce 3D files as well as satellite models. Then we put that cleansed the data using a software called QGIS, and then took that cleansed data and put it into Colab by Google and cloud computed it there, did a second round of cleaning, and then pre-processed, and then created the machine learning model, and then referenced the API key to the backend. So we also used Blender to render the images in our software, and because of that, the reason why we used Blender is to create a digital twin. By creating a digital twin for the farmers, in the future, we could create simulations and create better data analytics about what weather and precipitation, et cetera, could do to their crops, and help build better analytics about their farm. Building this building this model isn't just about the 3D projection, but also about the data behind it. We use the location and elevation as well as other statistics to go into our next model, which Kevin will abbreviate on later. And that model will help us create real predictions for the farmers.
Okay, hello. Next, we're going to be talking about Piggy, the farming assistant. So Piggy is an LLM model that is specifically tuned on farming articles and other blogs, as well as like FDA articles, so that it can give credible farming information. So like we can ask this model, like, how can I improve my potato yield in dry spells? And it'll give us an answer. Next, on the back-end side of things, I used Flask, Chorus, Jublib. What is this? Okay, I can't like read what I wrote. Okay, sorry. Okay, so basically I use these tools as well as like PyTorch and like NumPy as well as those things to create regression models based off the data I'm given. So we have a random forest regression model that takes in 15 different parameters of like different natural sort of data types, like soil moisture and like humidity and that sort of thing. And it outputs an ideal water like usage. So how much water should you use to water your plants? We also have another model that does predictions. So we give this model previous data from the year about all the weather and all that sorts of stuff. And we also use a regression model here to make predictions for over the next few months about things like potato yield forecast, water requirements, soil erosion predictions, and soil pH level predictions.
So that is the end of our demonstration. I think that with, that's the end of our demonstration. Do you guys, we have 2 minutes left. Okay.
I'll take the first question. Twice you mentioned cleaning data. Can you say something about what it is you're cleaning?
Yes, I actually have an image for that. Let me pull these up. So for example, in the software call, so the first one, I would have to pull it up on my other computer for the other part, but this is the first cleaning, which is in QGIS. I rendered the pixels because when they're getting this free satellite data, some of the data was missing, and when you first process it, it would have all these random values. It wouldn't be accurate. So processing the data that was missing and making my own null values and taking out the extremities was done through QGIS. So all these red sections that are seen here are the null values I had to take out, And through taking them out, when I re-render it, they're now white, completely white, using a gradient, and will not be processed.
You had that simulation page before. Can you tell us more about what you would think about the simulations, or an example, like brain, or what are some of the examples you would do in that simulation?
Could you clarify your question, please?
I think it was this page. You said this was built in Blender, and you used some like satellite data on this, and so that you could potentially run different conditions. I thought.
Oh, okay. So that is when we originally focused on this idea, we wanted to use NVIDIA Omniverse. We couldn't get the educational license for it, unfortunately. But that would be the next step immediately that we would take once we get approved for that license, which is in the process. Using that software, we would be able to run simulations on our 3D model as a digital twin.
So you've mentioned a lot of different platforms or tools that you've used. How did you determine which ones to use, and was it past experience, or how did, because there were a lot?
So we've been to a few past hackathons before, so I definitely say we have a bit of experience with working with these more modern frameworks. So deciding on using them, so for example, Kevin used PyTorch to create his models. That's a pretty popular framework. And versus like another popular model like TensorFlow, it more so came up to like personal preference about how much we knew about each software, and that's kind of determined how we chose each software.
I think another part that goes into the software is the research that we took. For example, when I was making this 3D model, I didn't have knowledge about like the preprocessor QGIS, or I didn't have knowledge about cloud computing. I knew about cloud computing, but not with specifically with Google. So going into it, I researched about how other people might have done it. I read, I think, 2 different papers on it, and then kind of combined of like what I thought I could do.
Yeah, I guess I would want to know, because I agree with this decision, but like for the crowd, like when you're seeing an image like this, why did you go with Collab and not like something like Unity, right? When you're just like rendering a 3D image. Which, like I said, you guys, I understand why, but
the reason why is because we wanted to use machine learning. So when we're rendering our image, we wanted it to be so that when the farmer enters their plot of land, we can render it based on what their plot of land is. If we did it in Unity, we would have to render manually each plot of land.
Very cool.
Yeah.
All right, judges, that's all the time we have for questions. Thank you so much. And then, you guys are good to go. Last but not least, Team the Jabs. I got you. You can just rest it on the.
Our hackathon was based on, it's called Spatial Senza by Srijay Bodhapati,
Justin Tran,
and me, Aneta Fati.
Unfortunately, one of our members left today, so he will not be showing up. So our objective of this, the objective of our hackathon was to create a calming environment without the use of any electronics, or the intention, with the intentions of possibly increasing spatial awareness.
Okay, so our original idea was to use the controller that 3J found in order to support disabled people, and specifically blind people. This would involve people just using a controller to navigate interfaces such as a computer with haptic feedback responding, so that would be more suited to their needs. But we decided this idea was impractical and would not be efficient in the long run because keyboards already exist, and they're clearly a lot better at navigating a keyboard space anyway. And they can also be modified to use haptic feedback as well.
So idea 2 was spatial awareness. So we ended up finding this controller outside of the office. Before, it might look like a joke at first, but one idea came in mind was haptic feedback. PS5 controllers are known to have a lot of haptic feedback, vibration, and haptic triggers as well. So when you're shooting, you feel like you're actually shooting the gun. So instead of a keyboard, we decided to use this.
So the way we developed this idea for stress relief is we combined the haptic feedback from the controller and we joined it with audio cues on the laptop to create a digital environment or atmosphere that could calm people down. What makes us unique with using this controller is that there aren't many third-party softwares that don't work with this controller. So it took us a while to find a suitable library to work with this controller's haptics. Additionally, haptic and tactile feedback has been a trend for relief lately with things like massagers and just generally the use of haptics online.
Okay. I wanted to mention before that the reason we thought this was such a problem was because stress is such a common problem in teenagers and young kids nowadays. And it is especially apparent. And we figured that it would be therapeutic to make a game console, a game controller, the way to calm yourself down using vibrations. And we'll show you the code and the functions by calling up a volunteer here to test up the code.
Before we get anywhere, some inspiration that took us in was this particular headset known as the Razer Hypersense. This is known to take in audio cues from any game, any video, from anywhere, and convert it into signals that controllers or motors will be able to read to give that feeling of haptic feedback. And we thought we could use that same technology inside our code. So in our first code, this is the first app we created for audio conversion, which basically, if we run this code right now, you have the ability to convert audio files into haptic files. Demonstration. For example, you take stars for example.
So the program converts the audio that you choose into the haptic feedback in the controller. And we can be pretty versatile with our audio selections. We have multiple audios. We can use this bird sound file. Uh,
So next up part of our code is this code right here. It's not more of an app. You could call it more of a very simple background process. A lot of lines of code. So for example, we have 3 preloaded sound effects inside. We have a plane, bird. We have like chirping birds and rain. So allow me to demonstrate. Can one of you pick up that controller?
So this one requires you to hold down the button instead. Can you run the program? Okay.
So X is for the plane. And circle is for rain. And finally square is for bird. Demonstration.
Yeah, so the vibrations, they vary based on the intensity of the audio.
And we thought this was a great idea because since slowly and surely kids are getting more stressed, especially teens growing up get more and more stressed. And most teens own a game console at home, but for example, if they start playing a game, they lose, it could just lead more than stress. So we thought of why not make something they love also something that can help them in the future. Currently, we don't have the resources, our main resources, which is a blindfold and a headset. Essentially, the sound would be playing in the headset, and the blindfold would make everything dark. But that darkness is important because we want you to have a screenless, imaginative journey. So you can have your own space, in your own world, nobody can tell you anything, and that you can just have your happy place. And overall, this took us about 17 hours to create, because the problem with, like Justin said, the problem with these controllers is they are not open source controllers, so it took us about a few hours just to find this one library, which is DualSense controller, which is still a bit unstable because every time we kept on running it, the feedback would just stop.
Yeah, just recently we were actually having problems with this, like right before the coding. It was actually super stressful, but luckily we got it fixed.
Haptic feedback is becoming a future. Soon, okay, my bad. Haptic feedback is becoming a future because simulation is becoming a hot trend, and with the power of haptics, it feels like you're right there.
All right, we'll leave judges 2 to 3 minutes for questions.
Thank you. So we do a lot of work in the Navy with augmented reality, mixed reality. So how complicated it would be to take this not just into controllers, but to actually use some AR, VR headsets?
I'd say because these modes right now offer different haptics. So you can theoretically make your own set of haptics, so you know which one. So you can differentiate like which controller you're moving, and see to make everything efficient and much more easier.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this kind of technology like already exists for the PS5. So in games, for example, there's like a rainy setting in the game. So on your controller, it would almost feel like you're holding the rain itself. Or if you're like holding a gunshot, you'll feel like a bit of recoil, even though nothing's actually happening. And there's actually a lot of technology like that right now, and it's very possible that could be implemented in VR and those cases that you mentioned.
Sweet. All right, so we're about to, just going to tabulate again. And within like 5 minutes, we should have the results. Yeah, so we just need 5 minutes to have the results. We're doing good. All right. Wait, it's dead? Okay. Oh no, this thing is blinking. How do I fix? Oh, there we go. Check, check. Thank you. False alarm. All right, guys. Final stretch. Are you guys able to hear me? All right. Super excited to announce our winners. Calm down, guys. Jeez. Now I feel pressured. Wow. All right. Sweet. The usual. All right. Wait 1 second. Let me see something. Nope. Let me just refresh, and then we're good to go. One more refresh. All right, let's get into it. All right, ready, Amin? All right, sweet. Can you guys hear me? All right, perfect. I know you guys are nervous and waiting, and I'm super excited to start by announcing the results. But first, we're going to kick off with our judges' choices. Amy, do you have a mic? Oh, yeah, you do. Perfect. Yeah. Okay, perfect. And you can just share a little bit more about our judges' choices. But can we make some noise? Let me hear some drum rolls for the jabs.
So the jab and the jabs.
And can you explain the judges'
The judges' choice, these are groups that stood out. They had wonderful presentations, really great projects, future. Didn't quite make it into the top 3, but we wanted to make sure that they were recognized. So the jab and the jabs, come on up.
Let's do it. Perfect. Oh, wait, are we doing pictures? Should we just do them over there? All right. Check, check, check. All right. Check. All right. All right, sweet. And then we also had to call out our honorable mentions, which are some great projects we saw during the process that didn't necessarily make it to top 5. So can I get a drum roll for our honorable mentions?
So we have Serenity Quester, who are our Women in Technology. They did an excellent presentation, developed an app that is a gamification for wellness. So they get to visualize by going to different parts in the world and experiencing some wellness activities. And it was a great presentation. So come on up, Serenity Quester. And the Jugglers. The Jugglers were, they have an app that I totally am in the first in line to buy for my sons because it helps with executive functioning by helping you prioritize your homework schedule, what you need to work on, when you should work on it because of the difficulty and the length, and it helps you actually organize your life. So Jugglers and Serenity Quester, let's give it to them both. Woo!
Perfect. Yeah, head on up, grab your prizes, get a quick picture. Can I keep going?
Yep.
Let's keep going. All right, so that brings us to the moment that we have all been waiting for, our top 3 finalists. Before we do that, I always have to remind you guys, let's give a big round of applause for all our participants, regardless. Come on, guys, celebrate yourselves. We need to hear some noise. You all did it. We've made it. You're the biggest winners of them all.
So,
but then some people are celebrating to the top 3. All right. So starting with our second runner-up, or third place. Second runner-up goes to, drumroll, Binary Bro. Yeah, we're doing prizes over here.
Binary Bros, come on up and receive your prize.
Yes, let's get our pictures. All right, let's keep moving. Our second runner, it's not the second runner place. Our second runner-up. I need you guys to make some loud noise for our second runner-up. Oh, wait, did I skip it? All right, guys, let's head on over to grab your prizes.
Congratulations to
All right, guys, let's make a whole lot of noise this time around. Like, I want you to give the last drop of energy you may have as we celebrate the winners of Hackathon by the Sea 2025. Let's make some noise for Westlake CS. Come on, guys. Woo! Yep, that's pretty much it. But let's make some noise for our mentors, guys, to all the Hacker Fund folks who are here to help out this weekend. Couldn't have been possible without them. Also, a huge shout out to the Ventura County Education Board. Wouldn't have been possible without Amy and all the team who made this, put the energy into this. Thank you so much to the parents. Thank you to everybody for being here. Safe travel home. Have a good time. Thank you all. Have a great weekend. Bye. We did it.
Thank you, everybody. And if you could please pick up at least one piece of trash as you're leaving the room and throw it in the trash can on your way out, that would be super helpful. Congratulations, everybody. Job well done.